No. Hey, morning, everybody. Back again today. It's Thursday before I'm heading to Fort Myers with our Rawlings Tigers 15U national team. Was just talking before getting started here with Coach Garrett Schilling. Said, I need to get out of Pittsburgh and into some warm weather and some baseball and everything. But today we have Garrett Schilling, pitching coach at Bluefield College. I'm going to sit there and turn it over to him. I've known Coach Schilling for a couple of years now. Great guy, San Diego guy. He's a West Coaster and all that. So it's over here now. But we'll go into some opportunities for people I know, clients, college kids, and that later. But without further ado, I'm introducing Coach Garrett Schilling. Coach, how are you today?
I'm good, brother. Don't let the accent fool you. I'm still a West Coast, Best Coast kind of guy. So, but glad to be here, man. I got to meet you a couple years ago, and we've had some good experiences, and we've had some good kids, and I've really enjoyed every time that phone rings. So.
That's cool. Hey, Coach, you know something? Like I said, I mean, you have. I get impressed with your bio and stuff that you do. You're a young guy. I mean, I'm old. I'm looking towards getting out. I keep saying that, but somehow keep getting pulled back in. You're young and have a lot of experience and everything. Give us your background and bio, Coach.
I wouldn't call you old, Tom. I'd call you experienced. Experience, baby, experience. But
I'm gonna tell my wife that, Coach.
There you go. Let's see how well that goes over. But no, man, I played high school ball. Was under talented and undersized, tall, skinny kid. Decided to go the JUCO route, which come to find out is a pretty popular route nowadays. Proud to call myself a JUCO bandit. Played 2 years at San Diego Mesa. And then got a phone call from Coach White out here at Bluefield College, and he said, we'll give you some scholarship. You want to come play? Turned out to be the best decision I ever made. Came out here, played 2 years for Coach White, and then tried to do a little pro tryouts. But, nobody wants a 22-year-old catcher who's caught 120 games in the last 2 years when I can take the 18-year-old when he's a little fresher. But decided I didn't want to be a guy that wanted to drag his pro career out too long, so I got into coaching. And they talk about life is right place, right time. And Coach White, must have done something right as a player, because he asked me, he said, do you want to do part-time? I said, sure. So I grinded it out for a couple $100 a month for a season and worked way too long and got overworked and underpaid. And at the end of that season, he said, we're going to start a JV program if you'd like to be the head guy of that and to be a varsity assistant. And I said, sure, what's it pay? And when he told me the pay, I said, well, that's more than I've made in my entire life, so come on. But no, I've been with Coach White ever since August 2014 now. So it's been a ride with him, and it's definitely been fun. And I got introduced to Casey out in Palm Springs, and been kind of all around the country doing stuff. And you're right, I am a young guy. I'm only 26, getting ready to turn 27. But I've been a full-time guy for 5 years and been at various places, and the resume starting to stack up.
The gray will come, Coach. You still look like you're 22.
For now, for the gray will come. I got enough kids around here. They'll make me gray real
Well, I in these interviews, I like to let the coaches sit there and talk about their school and their program. Start off, talk about Bluefield. Give me some advantages. Tell us everything about Bluefield and what they have to offer school-wise and baseball-wise, Coach.
Typically, people now it's more popular. Credit to Jeremy Schillinger. He's made NAI ball kind of put that out on the map, with Georgia Gwinnett, and they're a pretty high up NAIA school. But when I first got into it and was recruiting guys, the big question I got was, what is an NAIA school?
That's cool. Yeah, and you bring up some interesting points. Addie Rouse, who used to be at Salem. I mean, now, coaches going from Division II to NAIA schools. Coach Gorkos. I've talked with Brad. I've talked with Coach Nesselrod. I've talked with Addie, and I'm going to tell you what, they just enjoy the opportunities that NAIA baseball can present. And it's like you said, I tell my clients, I tell my players all the time, and I'm like, never get caught up in, D1, D2, D3, NAIA, JUCO, and all that. I'm like, 6% of all kids playing high school baseball, travel baseball, are going to get the opportunity to fit in somewhere in that area. And if you can be one of that 6%, I mean, you should feel honored. And another great point you made, having D1, D2 talent and all that in there. I tell people, I mean, I have D1 clients playing D3 baseball. Number one, they're great students and everything. And when you sit there and you really do the research into recruiting, okay, man, I can go and I can sit and still compete and work to get a position and get 50% of my school paid for. Or I could go to NAIA Division III or like that. I'm great academically. I'm going to get great academic money. And you guys offer scholarships, and I'll ask you to explain that one, because that's something that a lot of people get surprised about in these interviews. Yeah. But Division III, they're like, they give no athletic money. I'm like, They give great academic money, and then you'll see the Garrett Schilling grant, the Tom Davis grant. And those are, what they are is they're all grants thrown in from donors, alumni, and everything used for the baseball program, but not per se an athletic scholarship. So, I mean, you know, the whole thing with recruiting and what I'm teaching a lot of people, coach, is that there's advantages at every level. And you know what? I mean, don't look at everybody else's, because everybody's recruiting process is their own individual thing. It's unique. It's not like anybody else's. There's likes, there's dislikes, as you know, as you know. But I just want you to touch NAI. Okay, let's roll down the scholarships offered at each level. Division
Yeah.
1, 11.5, right?
Yeah.
Division 2, 9.
Yep.
Then Division 3, none. Academic money and program grants and everything like that. Tell us about NAIA.
Just depends. Just depends on the school. Typically, what you're going to see is you're going to see anywhere from 6 to 9. It just depends on the school you go to. So that's competing with Division 2 level.
But the whole thing is you're allowed to, and people you can go up to 12. People don't know that. There's 12, and here and that's the other myth that people were like, well, they have D2s 9.5, you guys 12. D2s, I'll tell you what, there's about maybe 15 to 20% of all Division II schools that have their full allotment of scholarships and all that. That's money that is fundraised to go into the program to offer those scholarships. That's how many you can offer. How many you have is a different matter, right, Coach?
Yeah, and unless you're, and it's one of those things. My daddy told me it's not polite to talk about money, but it's just one of those things that it depends on the school. It depends. There's a lot of other factors, and that's one thing I didn't realize as a coach. There's so many other factors that go into offering scholarships that have to keep up with it. And it's teaching the game is easy. Coaching is hard because of all the administrative stuff. But you said the exact word. You said the 3-letter word that I tell guys all the time: fit. Find the best fit for you. Okay, sure. You want to go to Division 1 and you want to just get the sweatshirt and you want to come home after a year and wear the sweatshirt. I understand. That's fine. Me, I could care less. Division 1, Division 2, Division 3, NAI. I wanted to play. I wanted to I wanted to come in and have a start and have a good chance of having starting position right away. It didn't matter to me what school it was. Obviously, I wasn't going to go to a school that, didn't win because, I'm competitive, obviously. But, find the best fit academically, financially, socially, athletically. There's 4 categories. I tell guys to have a checklist. Understand what you want in this recruiting process before you start recruiting. Because if you don't, you're going to walk into these schools and they're going to throw a ton of information at you. That's what we're trying to do. I'm trying to woo you and I'm trying to sell you on this school and this product with this program to come here. So if you don't know what you want, it's like walking into the car dealership not knowing if you want a truck, car, SUV, or something like that. They're just going to sell you the biggest price. So have a checklist of what you want. Okay, and at the end of the night, sit down with your parents and go, okay, it checks this box, but it doesn't check this box. And if you do that and if you write those things down, at the end of the day, the recruiting process is easy for you because it goes, all right, this is the best fit for me. This felt like home to me. College is a 4-year commitment. I know it's kind of changed now. To me, regardless if I played or not, when I went to a place, I was going to finish there. There wasn't the transfer portal or anything like that. So when I made a commitment, I had done my research and I was committed there 100%. So, college is 4-year commitment. It's a lot of money. So make sure it's what you want. It's one of the few times in your lifetime, and you'll find this out when you get older, and there's a few times in your lifetime where you get to be truly selfish. People want you to be there, and you get to be selfish and get what you want out of it. Now, there's a way to go about it. Don't be a turd bucket because nobody likes a turd bucket, but go about it and get what you want out of this. Make sure it's what you want 100%, because at the end of the day, that's the decision lies on you, not on us. If you come play for me, great. If not, call me and go, hey, coach, I love the offer, appreciate the interest, but this is just not for me. I'm going to go here. All right, man. Well, if you need anything, let me know. Because what you said, how many coaches, you know a bunch of coaches. I know a bunch of coaches. It's all word of mouth. So it's one of those things where in the recruiting process, communicate with communicate with the guy that's offering you. Because down the road, I could see you at a pro tryout for the Southern Illinois Miners with Casey and go, no, we're not going to sign that guy. He just flat ghosted me after 6 months.
It's amazing. And I always tell people, you bring up some good points through the recruiting process. You know what? These people have been recruiting you and you've been in, when you start making up your mind or you're crossing them off the list, you know what? Be respectful. Give them a call. You know what? I don't know how many coaches talk to me and say it's a pet peeve because they're putting their time and energy into you, and you know what? They're not gonna dislike you because you made another decision. You know that, and kids know that. I mean, coaches, every day have gotten the bad word that this one's got away or that one, and they get the surprise if this one's coming in or the other one, but recruits, just please, have the respect to call everybody that's been recruiting you and let them know of your decision before they find out with you throwing it out, all over social media and everything like that. There's a right way and a wrong way. And believe me, I try to get people to sit there and do things the right way. I'm pretty old school, as you well know, but it's just the other thing that you say. I mean, it's funny because when I'm signing clients, I'm actually signing a great athlete from out of West Virginia next Wednesday when I get back. It's you'll get some info on this kid, but anyhow, coach. That right fit. I tell people, I'm like, you know what? Mom and dad are making a good investment in you. I'm going to do a heck of a job. The ball's in your court and everything now. I'm going to know that you're making the right decision when you tell me, coach, you know what? I love this school so much that if I wasn't playing baseball, softball, football, basketball, this is where I'd be because it's going to take care of me the next 40 to 50 years of my life, and have it with every player and every client that I have.
Yeah, like you, I mean, like you touched on it. Mom and dad have made a boatload of sacrifices to get you to this point. And that's one of the things we preach here is it's not your name on the back of the jersey. It's mom and dad's. You have no idea until you get, and I'm still young, but I'm realizing it now. I'm recently married. We're buying a house. It's a lot of stuff. Thanks, brother. I appreciate it. Best decision I ever made. She keeps me on a straight and narrow.
We all will learn that we have a boss. Believe. And it's funny. I just put out the communication chain for my 18U Rawlings Tigers. And my wife's going to kill me when she sees this interview. But so I put out the communication out. All at once I see this joined the boss. And I'm like, oh, geez, here she is. Because she keeps score. She's a baseball junkie and she likes to be involved. And I saw this. I said, well, everybody's going to see it. I said, the boss. And it truly is. You know what? They're the best thing that's happened in our lives to keep. I don't know if I'd still be here at my 57-year-old age if I didn't have her sitting here taking care of me.
No, I would have killed myself by now doing some dumb stuff. But no, it definitely takes a tough lady to be a part of this game. I know darn well you don't do it for the money either. Just enough to survive. And that's the big thing. That's the big thing we try to create here at Bluefield is a family. I spend more time with these guys than I do with my wife majority of the time. I rolled in the door this morning at 9:30. I probably won't get home till 7:30. So it's one of those things that not only are we recruiting good players, I want good players, but I want good quality kids. You know, the stats and stuff, when we bring, and guys need to understand this when they come on visits is, you know, be open, have conversations. You know, obviously there's the quiet kids, which is fine. Totally understand that's your personality, but be open, ask questions. You know, the coaches, we wouldn't have brought you on a visit if we didn't think you could play. We've looked at video. We've talked to coaches. We've done our research before we've had you guys there. I already know what kind of player you are. When I bring you on a visit, I want to see what kind of person you are. You have to mesh well with our clubhouse. We've worked so hard to build this. Maybe we got 30 guys coming back and I need 15 coming in. Okay, well, I'm not going to sacrifice the 30 for 15 turd buckets who can play, because 15 turd buckets who can play, the 30 are going to mutiny, and I'm going to fight more in my clubhouse than I can outside the field. I would rather take 15 guys who are a little under talented, but who are absolute grind balls and baseball players. And there is a difference. There's a difference between a guy who plays baseball and a baseball player. And the old school guys know that. I've just had the opportunity to be around a bunch of old school guys that have pounded that into my skull since I was a little kid. But I'd rather take 15 under-talented, good kids. You know, they don't have to be the best student. I get it. Some guys aren't great at school. I understand that. But if you're giving your best effort and your best effort's a C average, great. I'll do whatever I can to help you. But a lot of time what I run into when guys don't do well in the classroom, it's because they don't put any effort in. And that's literally, we have 2 team rules. And one of them's, and it's one big one. And it's don't do anything, put yourself, the ball club, or your family in a bad light. And that's it. That's all we talk about. And the only thing we ask guys to give every day is everything you've got and have a good attitude. Come on, boys. You get to play college baseball and go to school. Really? You get to wake up. Oh, so you got to go to class at 8 a.m. Okay, that's fine. Trust me, I know a bunch of guys that didn't go play college baseball that get up at 8 a.m. and they go work a 9-to-5 job working 40 hours a week. You want to talk about pressure. It's not 3-2 bottom, 3-2, 2 outs, bottom 9 winning run on third. It's mortgage payments due at the end of the month, and I don't get paid till the second of the month. We got to figure this out. You want to talk about pressure. You're getting ready to roll into the 4 best years of your life.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's just one of those things that's a learning path. And it's fun for me at the college level. I like the college level because I get to see guys who are young men turn into grown men. They show up fresh out of high school. They have no idea what's going on. They're a little immature, which everybody is 18, 19. Some guys don't lose that till about they're 25. I was one of those. But, then they leave here. They're on their path to becoming men. And it's fun for me when guys come back 3 years later. Coach, I'm married, and I'm getting to that point now where I've had guys graduate. They're coming back. That's the most fun for coaches. It's not
absolutely.
the championships are great, but the championship eventually goes to somebody else. The player to us is much more important. When guys call me, even guys that transfer, when guys call me, Christmas and Thanksgiving are my best times because I get texts from old players. Coach, hope everything's going well. Merry Christmas. Love you. Talk to you. Hopefully get down there soon. It makes all of the underpayment, the overwork, the long nights, and all the recruiting, it makes all that stuff worth it. So when you're in that recruiting process, go somewhere where you're going to have that type of relationship with a coach.
The best part about it is what you said. People will go on visits, and my clients, and it's part of what I teach them. Well, what do we talk about, and everything like that. And I'm like, I always tell them, I'm like, when a coach comes to see you play, okay, number one, they've talked to me, they've heard what I have to say, what everybody else is telling them, because if they're coming to see you play, okay, that belief is there that, okay, I just want to go and see with my eyes. And they think that they're there to see them, hit home runs and everything. I'm like, you know what, guys? I said, they're coming to see you strike out, you make an error, coach sitting there talking to you. Do you stop and give him his respect, or do you keep going as he's yapping? Do you pay attention to people up in the stands, mom, dad, everything like that? Good coaches, it's funny because I tell people when I was coaching college, coach, I'm like, you know something? I used to be the first one there and the last one to leave. And I said, I watch you enter, I watch players enter and how they enter, and I watch them leave and how they leave, and everything in between. So, you know, it's just like you're saying. I mean, be assertive, have questions. The thing is, well, they're bringing me in to really see if I can play and talk. I said, no, they're not. They're coming in to learn about you as a person. This is your Wonderlic test right here. Okay, they're coming in to put you through the questions they need answered and everything, and they will go on from there.
You said it right. It's all those things are little things. They're little things, but they're big. They have a big impact, because if you can't, as a player, can't take care of the little things, then how do I expect you to catch the ground ball when the game's on the line? I can't trust you. And what they don't understand is this game is so relationship based. That's all it is. It's relationships.
Culture, man.
Yeah, it's a culture. It's a relationship. It's a trust thing. Augie, one of my favorites ever, one of the greatest coaches ever to play the game. Of course, he was a Longhorn. We talked about this the other day on the phone. Of course, he was a Longhorn. Augie Garrido said baseball is simply a microcosm of life. It is a smaller version of life. I want to see how you handle failure. I don't want to show up at a game and you have a great day. Everybody's good at handling success. I want to see how you handle failure. Can I tell the difference between 0 for 4 and 4 for 4? Because it tells me how mentally tough you are. Can't chart that. Can't chart mentally tough. You watched the same thing as I did. Pulling Blake Snell, Game 6 in the 6th inning. There's things in this world, they're great tools. The Rapsodo data, all that stuff's good. It doesn't replace feel. It doesn't replace understanding a kid and understanding how he ticks. San Diego, great. Spent plenty of time around him. Tony Gwynn, San Diego State, one of the greatest hitters ever. Best thing I ever heard from him out of his mouth was coaching. Was the hardest part about coaching is figuring out who needs the carrot and who needs the stick. We're not teaching baseball. We're managing personalities is what we're doing.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a great insight right there. And I have a ton of respect. Augie, character, but absolutely right. And something, people can go and they can see, he's had some rants and all that, but there's not a guy that loves his players more than Augie and will do anything for them. And Tony Gwynn, it's like you said, I share stuff about him all the time. Actually threw against him once in spring training. I'll tell you what, it's funny, got the 0-2, and then he just fouled off 4 absolute fantastic pitches, missed by that much. Next thing I know, I'm watching it, just roped over the shortstop's head into left center with a smile. It's it's amazing just the things that people can do. But getting into, I want to get into a little bit now about your other part.
Plenty of other ventures.
Yep, baseballs, college leagues out on the West Coast in Southern California, and some other stuff that you have. Sent you a kid last year. We were talking. I have some people for you this year. I believe in my heart. I know how good baseball is there, and kids come from the Midwest to the West and all that. And I just think that some of the East Coast players and that are good enough to go out there and go through the player development and everything with the league that you have going on out there. I mean, who wouldn't want to be in Southern, like you said, Southern California, playing for a month, no rain, gorgeous, and have the player development stuff that you have available. I'm going to let you get into that, and then we'll talk a little bit about it, Coach.
Yeah, so what you're talking about is what was formerly known as the Palm Springs Collegiate League, but it's been renamed. It's now the Power Summer Collegiate League. It's based out of Palm Springs, California. I had the great opportunity to be in with Casey when the league started. I actually started as a league coordinator, as a field coordinator, which is a fancy word for field maintenance guy. And you know, a couple events happened, and Casey said, "Can you manage?" I said, "Yeah, sure." Ended up managing. Asked Scott come back another year and came back. Last year was my third season with him. And I I don't even know where to start with the experience. It's one of those summer leagues. We've kind of revamped it a little bit. We're looking for the development of players. So with that, we cap our rosters at 25 players per team. We'll make more teams. We'll play more games. But we're looking to get guys playing time. It's a league where you're going to show up. It's not a typical summer league where you're going to show up and sit 2 to 3 times a week. I mean, you're going to sit probably once a week, but you're going to get the same amount of at-bats, playing time, opportunities as everybody else. It's a great place for guys that want to get recruited, maybe guys out of junior college, maybe guys out of high school. It's a great place for that, but it's also a great place for guys that maybe went to their schools and for whatever reason, redshirted, didn't play, got hurt, want to come back on rehab. It's a great opportunity. We play a boatload of games. We play 20 to 25 games in a month span. We play 5 days a week. We play in the mornings. You get a gym membership. You live at a resort. You live in an extended stay resort with like 2 pools, pool tables. It's a mile from the stadium. You don't have to travel. You're literally a mile from the stadium. You're in downtown Palm Springs where everything's happening. You're 2 hours from LA. You're 2 hours from Anaheim. You're 2 hours from San Diego. You get to go see 3 amazing ballparks, which Petco Park's probably my favorite. Just, a little hometown bias. But, it like you said, it's a once in a lifetime experience. You're playing at a former minor league, or you're playing at a former minor league facility that Angels trained there. Nolan Ryan was there. We're talking about some guys that we're talking about an experience, and you're playing against guys that are D1, D2, D3, NAI, potential pro guys. We had 4 guys, even in the COVID year. We moved the whole league to Ranger College in the middle of Ranger, Texas, and played during the middle of a pandemic. And we had very minimal cases. We had great protocol and great staff in hand. We got it handled. We were able to finish the season no problem. And we got 4 guys picked up on pro contracts last year in a pandemic. If we had 4 guys from the league go on and get picked up, and we had multiple, probably at least anywhere from 8 to 10 guys in that league, they got an opportunity somewhere else, whether they were transferring or trying to get a scholarship, got that opportunity to go play college again.
That's outstanding. And like I said, I mean, I have I've sent you some kids that and they've gone to play. I have some this year, and I'm going to continue to do it because I believe in getting some exposure from people that you never would have known you. They'd have never seen you and everything like that. And the other experiences, going and getting away from home and being responsible for yourself and everything like that. And I know the atmosphere and the culture that you guys present out there with everybody's great. And they're just baseball players out there to sit there and put their work in and everything and develop and get better. Well, Coach, I'll tell you what, man, you carry a number of hats. You do a great job. Anything that I can ever do to sit there and help you, you know how to get in touch with me. And, I just wish you the best going forward this year with the season. And I know I'll be talking to you here soon. You're a busy guy now, as I could tell, because I got to text you 2 or 3 times because you're always running around throughout the day. But if there's anything you'd like to add before we end up, Coach.
Nah, brother, I've greatly appreciated, and I've enjoyed building this friendship over the last couple of years, and eventually we'll get down to a place where we can sit and have a beer and throw some baseball stories back and forth. But until then, I enjoy the phone conversations, and it's always, we never talk for more than, we never talk for 5 minutes. It's always 20, 25 minutes for us, and we get going into it. And but no, man, I've greatly appreciated, and I hope that. I hope that people can see that this is something that I'm passionate about, both at Bluefield College and both at Palm Springs, and with the power. And this is just something that that kids need to understand, that it's two guys that we're just passionate about what we do. We love the game, and we want kids to have good experiences within the game. I know you're always busy with the Rawlings Tigers. I mean, that's a great organization to get in. They probably got you covered out in swag. So, you know, but
It got
no.
me a little bit.
A little bit, yeah, a little bit. You know just as well as I do, if you're around long enough, a little bit turns into a lot of bit. I've been here
Big
for
guy,
6 years, and my whole wardrobe is royal blue.
big guy. Let's put it this way. I always tell people. Somebody was asking on Facebook. As Coach JT Thomas up at Bethany was saying, what do you have an abundance of? And he was saying like shoes and stuff. I put on there. I'm like pullovers, man. My wife laughs like crazy. I could probably wear a different pullover for every day of the year. She's like, my God, yeah. I have so much Red Sox stuff from being involved in their organization, pirate stuff, college stuff, travel stuff, yeah, high school stuff. And it's funny you mentioned Petco. You know Dave Bednar. You've heard of him, right? He's one of their
Mm-hmm.
relievers. Yep,
Yep.
big guy. He played for us up at Mars, man. Where do you see his younger brother that's looking to get drafted now out of Mississippi State down there?
Really. I've
Oh,
got an old head you probably recognize. I got his two kids up here. Doug Bachler
yeah,
used to pitch for the
yeah.
Padres and the Tigers. Yeah, his two kids are up here.
Oh, that's awesome.
So
What's
he's
the
coming
weather
up.
like down in Virginia?
It's not bad. It's going to get up to about 50 today. We're trying to get the field thawed out a little bit so we can get outside before we go down to Georgia. But I got Doug, who's now AAA pitching coach for the Tigers. He's going to come up work my staff on Friday. So he's coming up tonight. He's going to spend some time, and I sure, go ahead, man. You've been around guys that he's with the Padres for a while as a bullpen coach, and worked under Darren Bosley, who arguably is one of the better pitching coaches in the league. And sure, you've got a ton of knowledge. You just go ahead.
Nothing wrong with putting quality in front of your kids. And you know that as well as I do, Coach.
Now, the best thing I can tell a kid, a young coach, is the moment you take the ego out of it, is the best thing you can do. It has nothing to do with that guy knows more than you. I'll let you know that guy knows more than I do. But it's about learning from everybody. You can pick, and that's why we go to these ABCA conventions, is you can learn. We're all trying to do the same thing, but there's different ways. There's plenty of different ways to skin that cat. You
Sure.
never know.
It depends. Everybody's personality is different. Everybody handles everything different. Everybody's trying to get the same thing, but they have, a different route. Some are close and all that, but there's always unique differences. And
Yeah.
that's the one thing, man, for being 50 people were asking me that last night. And they're like, well, you know so much. I said, I still learn every day. And you know what? It's about being open and listening. Yeah, you might not like that, or you might like one part of it, and you incorporate it. I mean, that's how I've built how I coach. Yeah, I have some base philosophies, but these other people's instilled into me, things that I like to do, and have learned too.
Yeah, that's funny you say that, because I'm a pitching guy. I'm a pitching and catching guy, and I was a catcher here at Bluefield, but I didn't pitch. But I've kind of made that transition. But I'm reading a book right now. It's called The Pack Mentality, the Pack Offense, and it has nothing to do with pitching. But what can I take from that and use that maybe an opposing team is using on us? So it's kind of one of those things that don't be afraid to look at the other side. You know, if my hitting guy comes in and says, "Hey, I see this out of one of your pitchers," be like, "Okay, let me see. What are you talking about?" Because he's looking at it he's looking at it in a different lens. And the same thing with the hitters. I can go up to him and go, "Hey, man, this is how I would attack this guy based on what I see weakness wise." And he goes, "Why do you say that?" You know, the big question, the big word in there is why. And I wish guys could, you know, when I was a little kid, I had a bunch of old heads teach us not only that the game went this way, but why it went this way. We understood how all of the pieces moved, not that just we played. And I feel like I'm very relieved that a guy like yourself is in a travel ball position, because I feel like travel ball has taken that away from us a little bit.
The intricacies of the game, Coach, and
Yes, it's the game within the game.
I
People
talk
ask me all the
about
time,
it all the time. You can ask
God,
any of my players, and I'm like, the one thing that you're going to learn to me, and you know, it's funny when a game's going on, and my kids like to be around me and ask me questions. Why are we doing it? Because they do, because they know I'll tell them this is exactly why I'm doing it. This is
yeah,
what I'm thinking. This is a situation, and I get them to understand that, and for it to make sense to them. And there's so many times now, Coach, and you know it. I mean, yeah, you have your good travel ball organizations, but a lot of them, you know, it's so watered down, and you know, people going here, there, everywhere, and everything. I mean, when I was growing up, you know, I play at 15 years old. I played Colt League. I played Legion, and in Pittsburgh here, we had a tremendous Federation League. And at 15 years old, I played in the Fed League against college kids and ex-minor leaguers. And I didn't pitch Colt or American Legion until my last year American Legion I did. But I pitched in that Fed League because you know what? These guys all took me under their wing and they're like, you have great talent, but up here, you're going to have to learn how to pitch. You're
yeah,
you're 15 and you're 88 is not going to sit here and impress any of these people. You're going to have to put it in locations. You're going to have to change speeds. You're going to learn you're going to learn the art of pitching. And they did. I had some great people that sat down and showed me. And I had great people at a young age, Coach, that taught me the game within the game to where I understood it even going into college. And yeah, that's all you can hope for.
dude. My favorite, that you talk about the game within the game. Guys ask me all the time, what's your favorite play in baseball?" It's this 3-2 fastball. I know it's coming as a hitter. You know it's coming as a pitcher. Ready, here we go. I'm going to see, can you beat me at my best? Who's better? I'm going to throw it right down the middle. Can you catch up to it or not? Here we go. And I love it. I get so jacked up in the dugout. And that might be just me. I can't play anymore, and I got to find something to get excited about. But you know, it's a game. It's a game within the game. The game is so complicated. Stupid people can't play baseball. It is such an you know. And I joke with my wife. Uh, should have divorced me when I told her this, but you know, she's like, "I don't understand how you can watch baseball all the time. It's so boring." And she goes, "Wouldn't it be boring to sit and watch it all the time?" And I said, "Well, I said, if you're smart, and that's where I went wrong, you know, you understand the game within the game." And it's kind of one of those things, as the words trickle out of your mouth, you try to grab them and throw them back in. You know, and that started a wonderful fight. But, you know, the point of that is, you know, there's so many things that occur within the game. Now you see defensive shifts. Now you see scouting reports. You know, everybody's got scouting reports. Okay, so how as a player am I
In
going to
de-
defy the
in
scouting
de-
report?
not just scouting reports, but in-depth reports with all this data and everything. And you believe me, there's a place for it, but it's like you said too, Coach. I'm from being around and understanding and all, it, I have a feel, and I just want to see that data backs up what I feel.
It's a tool.
Yeah.
If I use a baseball bat to try to unscrew a screw, it's not going to work. I have to use the tool effectively to get the job done.
Sure.
So the data works, but if you can't apply the data to the person to make them perform, then it's over. You can't take people out of this game because you're coaching people.
Sure.
You can put the data in, and great. You need to learn the data because that's where baseball is going. That's this world that we live in. But how can we take the data and put it to an old school thing?
Absolutely. Well, Coach, I'll tell you what, man, it's been great catching up with you. When I get back and all, I'm going to tell you what, I'm going to be around. So I will be down to Bluefield to see you guys play.
Come on down, baby. Let me know.
Absolutely, man. Maybe we'll have time to sit there and go out and have that beer and sit there and shoot some baseball around.
All right. Well, fair enough. You come down here. The first one's on me then.
All right, Coach. Hey, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Some great insight and everything. Like I said, I mean, I thank all you coaches for coming on here and sharing and talking and getting to plug your programs and everything. Anything I can do for you, Coach, you let me know.
Sounds good, brother. Same thing goes to you. You need anything, just holler at me, baby.
All right. Take care, Coach.
See you, brother.